Right, so I bought the GoPro Hero 8 out today just as a second camera to have it mounted on the back of the bike just to get some alternative angles. I've had it mounted under the seat. I'll put this little bracket on. Wow. And that's how you lose your GoPro. Fucking hell. I did have my concerns about that mount, whether it was going to bang on the tyre when the suspension compressed. Yeah. That just pretty much proves, yes it does. It's kind of buggered that idea then, isn't it? No, might have got at least one decent day now. It's perfectly fine coming downhill. As soon as I hit a small jump, the camera's obviously bounced, hit the tyre and snapped the mount off. So that's the end of that idea. So I'm going to have to try and find a alternative mounting position. Another reason why I've come out today is I've had a small niggle with the Osmo 6. The footage is absolutely incredible. It's super clear, crisp, really pleased with that. But one thing that's been bugging me is the sensor speed that I'm seeing on the camera versus what I'm actually seeing. And if anything, it seems to be making the camera look a little bit on the slow side. So I've done a bit of research, and after faffing around with loads of different settings, there's one that I hadn't touched since I got the camera, and that's in the stabilization menu. Just get the camera so I'm not sure if you can see that. There are two options, daily and sport, and daily clearly says that it's suitable for scenarios without too many movements such as walking or vlogging to meet varied lighting conditions. So as I understood that, you only put that on if you're planning on doing some hiking videos or vlogging. Sport, on the other hand, says, when it stops scrolling, suitable for physical activities such as cycling, running, etc. Motion blur will be removed while anti-flicker may not be available. So I hadn't read that, well, not read that as it's probably intended, particularly the motion blur bit. Motion blur is what gives you a sense of speed, but everything was suggesting to use that mode for mountain biking, as I understood it. So that's what 99% of my videos have been filmed in. So I've turned that back to daily and may have solved the riddle, because I wanted to see some motion blur. That's what gives you the sense of speed from your peripheral vision, whereas before it looked okay, but it looked super sharp. And as I now understand it, the sport mode is for if you were filming something like, say, a football match where you were panning the field from left to right with lots of moving subjects. You'd probably get motion sickness from the camera giving you that sense of blur every time you panned left or right. So it's a little bit misleading, I think, that it gives you the impression that sport mode, you want that on for sport. Yes, you do, but probably not an action sport like mountain biking, particularly where you want to see that sense of speed. So I've turned that on to daily, and we'll see if the results are better. So you'll have to let me know in the comments below whether you think it looks faster with a little bit of motion blur, or whether you prefer it crisp and clean and looking a little bit slower. Right, I'll put this camera away now because I've got nowhere to mount it. I noticed it more so when we were at Grenoside at the weekend, when Will had got the Hero 8 on his chest and I was riding with this, and even though we were doing the same speed down the same trail and I was just in front of him, the footage from my camera looked significantly slower than his, and yet we were doing roughly the same pace. So it'd be interesting to see whether this solves that riddle or not. Right, I'll have a plod down here, just check that there's no logs or anything been put down. See there, squirrel.